All right, we're rocking and rolling. This is Greg Halverson here in Nashville, Tennessee. It is Wednesday, February, March. I think the month is March. March 10th, I believe. And just checking in. This is my fourth installment of the new YouTube channel, and it's going pretty well. Got over 100 on all my if you put up something on social media, you want people to see it. It's like otherwise, like why put it up? So it's nice to get 100 people, 100 views or whatever. The problem with that though, my goal is 100 views per YouTube video, just to soothe my psyche, I guess, my ego. But of course, if you have a 20-minute long video and someone clicks on it for 30 seconds, I think that adds a view. So you don't really know who's listening or how many are listening. You might have one dude who listened to it 50 times, So you never know, but it's going pretty well. It's the fourth installment. They're all about 20 minutes, 30. The first one was 30 minutes, my introduction. About a little over a week ago now, and I usually shoot for about 20 minutes. I live in Nashville, Tennessee. My name is Greg Halverson, and the point is no point, except for to assert my values and opinions onto society, and weigh in on culture and politics and whatever comes to my mind, and that's why I'm here. Please subscribe. You gotta ask up front. You gotta ask up front for the subscription. And I usually have a little glass of wine going, but tonight, special treat. My We the People holster came with a handy dandy beer koozie. And We the People holsters. That's the sound of freedom, my friends. Actually, look at that thing, man. Pretty cool. 1776, little American flag. Can't beat that. Of course, that's a BB gun. BB gun. But I wanted you to be here for the inaugural break-in. Red, white, and blue, baby. Red, white, and blue. Pabst Blue Ribbon All-American Brew. It might even say something to the effect of an all-American brew. Maybe not. But 16 ounces of Pabst Blue Ribbon, freaking just the best cheap budget beer in the land, probably most popular. We're gonna break in the We the People holster. Let's do that in slow mo. I should have like a slow motion thing going. Actually, I can't. Let's do it. Just the satisfaction. Oh. So that's nice. Pabst Blue Ribbon. Cheers. Hump Day. God bless America. And as far as Pabst Blue Ribbon, it's like one thing about Pabst Blue Ribbon, for those who don't drink beer, or you do drink beer, you're a Bud guy, or Coors Light, Whenever somebody orders like a Bud Light or Coors Light in a bar, and I'm just like, kind of like, dude, come on, man. Coors Light, really? So the Pabst Blue Ribbon, this is a fact, and I don't even care. It's not even subjective. It's objective. A Budweiser is pretty good cold, perhaps. I mean, what beer isn't good, if it's ice cold? But when Budweiser gets warm, it's toilet water. It's horrible. It does not hold its flavor. Pabst Blue Ribbon, on the other hand, of course, you don't want your beer to get warm, but if it gets warm, this is still a good beer. Pabst Blue Ribbon. I keep wanting to say from this land of sky blue waters, but that's Hams. And for those not familiar with Hams, it's a Northwest beer, and I don't think they have it here in Nashville or in the South. I haven't seen it. So if I buy a 6-pack, I usually get the tall boys. I like the little 4 extra ounces. I like 16 ounce in my beer cans. Usually always a can. And for the koozie, you can do beer glass koozie too, but I like this. And the Hams, Land of Sky Blue Waters, another quality budget beer, low end, with the cases on that end, as opposed to like $8.50 a 6 pack for some, craft beer. Craft beer, dude. This is all you need, man. Cheers. So I thought I'd just weigh in on a few things. I'm not. The last video was pretty political. Talked about the nightmarish, massive hyperinflation bill they just passed. They passed last week. They actually signed it. The House had to reconciliate the Senate bill, send it back to the House, do this and that. And then it's going to go to Biden's desk on Friday. It's over. So get ready for hyperinflation. Gas is already up over $1, close to $1 a gallon. But I addressed that in my last video. I addressed the hellish disgrace that is the troops in the U.S. Capitol, which is just a nightmare. We should all be relentlessly calling our senators, Democrat or Republican, to get those troops out of there. It's a disgrace. They have families. They should not be there. Pardon if I'm having a little difficulty with my computer. It might flick in and out a little bit, but I'm still talking. I'm still here. So that's why I limited it to 20 minutes, because the screen starts getting a little weird. Nonetheless. So, but I'm not going to go. I'm going to try not to veer into too much politics all the time, because I end up going political. You almost have to. If you're talking about cultural issues, it ends up being political. And vice versa too. So you can't really separate the two things, right? But one of the things that's cool, like on the positive level, is I've been doing these YouTube videos and getting back into my YouTube. It's my 4th installment. And on the side, they give you the options. They show you, what's your next video you should watch, like nudging you or whatever. And they've come out with YouTube movies. And they've always had YouTube movies. You've always been able to order a YouTube movie. But now they have free. It's like they're giving me these free movies with ads. It says, but I've watched a couple of movies that I'll talk about here in a minute, and there are ads. There's like in a 2-hour movie, there's like 4 times to break in with a 15-second ad. So it's not like some hellish 3-minute long, can't fast forward it deal. You get the 15-second ad every half hour or whatever, and then you might get the 5-second next ad, but with the option to skip it the next ad. So you might get 20 seconds and then boom, you're back, and it's seamless. It's pretty sweet. It's close to ad free. But the movies they're offering there are good. They're good movies. I watched Hoosiers. I've never watched the movie Hoosiers before, which is pathetic. I know. With Gene Hackman. I think it was 1986, about the 1951 basketball team in Indiana. It was the smallest school that had ever gone to the state championship ever. Like the enrollment in the school was less than 100, I think. It's a true story. I think it's the Hoosiers movie is set in 1951, but I think that actually happened in 1954, and they won the whole thing against it's just bomb squad, 1,500, 2,000 student enrollment powerhouse, and it's a good movie, man. It's about the heartland. It's about sacrifice, work ethic, struggle, relationships. And it's about America at a time before the left started destroying it. It's about the time they came in the mid '50s and started really going, sort of needling their way into the public schools. Obviously, it accelerated in the '70s, '80s, and in the aughts is when it really went hyperdrive. But it's a great movie, Hoosiers, free on YouTube, guys, free. And if you hit the full screen, I just watch it. I just watch it on my computer, man. It's like I got the full screen, and it's nice. It's like watching a movie on a small TV, which is cool. And the other movie I watched, I'm watching We Are Marshall. So I had to follow up Hoosiers basketball, Cinderella, great basketball story with We Are Marshall, which is a great football story. Another classic, another one I haven't seen either. And I actually I really like Matthew McConaughey, who's the star of that movie, and good Texas boy. And I'd never seen that, which is kind of a embarrassing thing to say too. But so another great movie. I'm watching it. I usually don't watch the whole thing at once. Like I'll watch it for like half of it, and then I'll save it for the next night. So I'm on We're Marshall now, free on YouTube Movies. And the first movie, that's the third one I've watched. The other movie I watched is The Big Country. There's a lot of westerns on there, free westerns, and it was called The Big Country, and it's from 1958. And I went on. I usually always before I watch a movie, I'll search it. DuckDuckGo is the non-communist search engine that I use. Don't use Google. And I'll go on DuckDuckGo, and I'll go to Rotten Tomatoes. Got to see what the audience thinks of it. I don't really care about the critics very much. The critics, if it's a good war movie, the critics are 100% liberal. So if it's a good Christian movie, they'll give it like 30. The audience is 90. Or a war movie that is pro-America, pro-troops. They'll give it like 33. Pan it, say it's a horrible movie. Audience 92%. So that's pretty typical. So I usually go with the audience. Sometimes the critics get it right on a drama or something. But this Big Country, I had never heard of it. It stars Gregory Peck, Chuck Connors, Burl Ives, and Charlton Heston. Okay? I'm just like, what? So good lineup there, Big Country. And I go on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's like 94% audience and 90% critics give it a thumbs up. It's like one of the highest rated movies I've ever seen. It's like Shawshank Redemption or something. So I'm like, whoa, sweeping epic, cinematography, great story. And from 1958, usually this can be a little, I don't know, formulaic. I don't care, because good Western's a good Western. Tension, gunfights, struggle for the land. But good versus evil is usually thematic in westerns. And so I watched this, and it was fantastic. It was a great movie. Gregory Peck is this guy, this Easterner who comes west to marry a Western gal. So he comes out west. He's an Eastern, not an aristocrat, a well-to-do guy, businessman. Comes out there to the west and brings like solid values, but he sort of rejects the punch and roll in the mud thing until he has to. So like he gets in a fight with Charlton Heston, who's their main ranch hand of this girl's that he's going to marry her father. He's the main ranch hand. He hates him and likes the girl also. So he refuses to fight him at one point, like publicly, and she's humiliated, can't believe it. So this dude, Gregory Peck, ends up going to Charlton Heston and saying, "I'll fight you. Step outside." It's like freaking 1 a.m, and he's just said, "You and me, and we're not going to do this for the public." It's not an ego thing for the guy, and he goes out. Charlton Heston thinks he's going to whip his ass, and Gregory Peck just freaking dots him up. They basically fought to a draw, but Gregory Peck more than held his own and was a badass. Let's put it that way. He ended up dumping the chick because she's stupid and going with his hot teacher who he bought a big parcel ranch from. This is called The Big Country again, in 1958. Great movie. Burl Ives got Best Supporting Actress. Or actress? If that's an actress, she's ugly. Burl Ives got Best Supporting Actor for his role in it. It's great. He was basically this Gregory Peck buys this parcel of land that this girl, the school teacher, has inherited, and it has water running through it, so the cattle can run it, and water. Without it, the cattle, a ranch can't have cattle. And Burl Ives is struggling to get his cattle to drink the water, and the girl who Gregory Peck was going to marry, her father wants to buy that ranch and deny the Hennessy's from their water rights because he hates the Hennessy's. So Peck secretly buys the ranch or with all the water rights and says he's going to give water to both of them. It's because he's a great dude. And he just wants peace in the valley. And he ends up marrying the school teacher, which is freaking fantastic. They literally ride off into the sunset together. But only after Burl Ives, the leader of the Hennessy's and the girl's father, who's a rich rancher, they end up shooting each other and killing each other in a canyon. And then they're both dead. Moral of the story, don't be a freaking pompous ass. And then Peck rides off into sunset with his gal and owning all the water rights to the whole valley. So that's a great movie. I didn't plan on doing a movie review. I gotta watch my time here. What am I at here? 17. Woo! All right, so just again, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I appreciate it. I'm also on Greg Halverson blog Substack, a written blog, and I do some podcasting there. I'm also on Facebook at Halverson with a G on the end of my name, and on Facebook at Greg Halverson blog also, and also the Conservative Hammer. I'll put the links under the description of this video when I get it up. The last thing. I could go and I was going to talk about growing up in the 70s and 80s without phones and technology. That's like an entire 20-minute long video. But I'll touch on that maybe next time. But these movies, they're gritty. They're about America. They celebrate masculinity. They have sweeping American themes of solid values and struggle and sacrifice. And in today's culture, that's just gone. I mean, in today's culture, that's white. Everyone had white male privilege, at Marshall. The Hoosiers, the coach is white, can't have that, just like the liberals ruin everything. And the other thing I was going to talk about is how great these movies are. They're not even making good movies anymore. Everything's politically correct. TV sucks. There's no good sitcoms anymore. And we used to watch Happy Days, too many white people there. Even when I was smaller, the Brady Bunch was fantastic. All white people. But they had the Jeffersons, which was like, that's like, I don't even know what they'd say about that. Jimmy Walker, Dynamite, what did they say about that? But back then, in the day, they had so many good sitcoms. Bob Hope. The Bob Hope Show, Mary Tyler Moore, Taxi, of course, Cheers. I was never a huge Friends fan. That was kind of like, whatever, starting to get a little cheesy. But Seinfeld was great. But there's zero good sitcoms now. Zero. And moreover, there's no more good comedy stand-up comedians. No, not that I can name. I mean, liberals have destroyed comedy. The late night shows, as we flicker in and out a little bit, it'll refocus. The late night comedy shows, you see David Letterman turn into a leftist sociopathic idiot, of course, but he was funny in the day. When he was a weatherman and before he turned left and or at least became overtly left, and he was funny. Johnny Carson was super entertaining and super cool and funny and always laughing and making very entertaining to the audience. Conan O'Brien used to be funny, and now he's irrelevant, and no one cares about him. But obviously Jimmy Kimmel is an idiot, not in the slightest bit funny in any way, 100% political, and a disaster for late night entertainment and comedy. And also the other guy, they're all woke. None of them are funny anymore, and it's a tragedy. It's really too bad. But they used to have, obviously Bob Hope and Don Rickles and Phil Silver and Harvey Korman and stand-up, Flip Wilson. Carol Burnett was hilarious. Then they came, Andrew Dice Clay was so politically incorrect. And Saturday Night Live was actually funny and good with Belushi and Aykroyd and Chevy Chase and Rosanna Dana. And just like Eddie Murphy was classic and funny. And it died after Eddie Murphy and was never good again. So comedy now is if you say something, comedy is about expressing oftentimes pain, personal pain through jokes and humor. Oftentimes tragic comedy, but often it's just about telling the truth. And the truth. Life is funny. Life is humorous. And so, but you can't tell the truth anymore. You get canceled. The mob comes after you. And I'll tell you one thing. Even though comedy is destroyed, the nation is being destroyed. The southern border, fiscally, we're being dissolved. And Biden's a train wreck who can't give a State of the Union speech. 50 days. 50 days, by far the record. It's not even close, and it's completely unprecedented. No press conference. He cannot give a press conference. He's non compos mentis. He cannot think on his feet. We have a president 7 weeks into his administration who is incapable of doing the job mentally, which is absolutely terrifying. It should terrify everybody. And it's a disaster for our country, and it will unfold. I've called May on my social media accounts. I'm at Parler as well under Greg H blog, or just my name perhaps. But I called May in December. He's gone. He ain't gonna be around in May. He's declining. Once you start declining mentally, it tends to accelerate. It tends to accelerate a little bit. So it's sad to watch. He's a disgrace. Obviously, he's obviously a criminal with his Chinese dealings and Ukrainian oil, family deals, enriching himself and his family to the tunes of millions of dollars by influence peddling as vice president. Okay, and getting his son to go in there and cook deals for the family. He's a criminal, but he's also now sick. He's a sick man. He has dementia, and it's pathetic and sad to watch. But I'll tell you this, man, about this cancel culture, and of which his entire party is behind it. If the mob comes for you, and I'll wrap it up with this, if the mob ever, I speak truth, Okay, I speak my opinion, and I'm willing to debate anybody. But I have a reason for my opinions. They're based on my values. They're based on my love of country and my belief in Jesus Christ. And I will never, ever be canceled. I will never, certainly, I will not, they may cancel, or try to cancel me or whatever, but I will never apologize to the mob. But too many times, someone will speak the truth, someone like, even like, I don't know, Matthew McConaughey or something, it's like someone you respect or something, and he'll say something true, objectively true, morally true, historically true. And like, for example, this this gal who got canceled went over to Daily Wire, Gino Carlino or something. I can't remember her name. She got canceled, kicked off the Disney program because she equated what the Democrats are doing today with what the Nazi Party did in the 30s with canceling, stealing civil liberties, using an excuse for an insurrection, the Reichstag, to destroy civil liberties, to start enacting a police state. There are absolute parallels. She spoke the truth, okay? 100% true. Very pertinent and very smart for people to point out, really. So she got canceled, but she didn't apologize. Good for her. Do not ever apologize to the mob. But too many times you see, people backpedal from the truth. And when I see a person do that, I lose all respect for them. If you can't stand behind the truth that you know is true, because a bunch of bedwetting leftists come and try to harass you, then you're nothing but a gutless coward. And the poster child, which breaks my heart to say this, the poster child of this was Drew Brees. With Jacob Blake, I think. It was a black guy who there was an incident with the police. I don't know the details of it right now. You can look it up. But Jacob Blake, he ended up being they almost always end up being like a bad dude. You didn't get the whole story, and the cop is exonerated. Oftentimes, there are bad police. Okay, I'll admit that. The majority are not bad police, like 99%. Okay, and black men commit the vast majority of crime. Fact, true. Won't apologize. So, but Drew Brees, this says something to the fact, or I don't even think it was about Jacob Blake. That came later. He basically went in and said, I respect our troops, and I will always stand for the national anthem and the American flag. That's what he did. And they went off on him, like how dare you, white privileged, rich white millionaire quarterback. And he apologized for standing up for the troops and the American flag. Drew Brees, if you're an NFL Hall of Fame quarterback, why would you apologize to anybody? It was the peak cowardice moment of any celebrity I've ever seen. Drew Brees, so disappointing. He was my favorite NFL player to that point. He's a gutless coward. Drew Brees might be a great guy, great family man, obviously a great football player, probably a great human being. But he still to this day grovels to the left, and he got rolled, and he ran away from the truth. And so he is my poster boy for gutless cowardice, Drew Brees. And I can see this is going out. Never apologized. And then after that, he wore the Saints put Jacob Blake on their uniforms, and he had the Jacob Blake on his helmet. The guy's like a cop killer or something. I don't know the details of it, but it was just he just became just a eunuch. He was a ballless, gutless coward. So Drew Brees, what's up, dude? Never apologize to the mob. That's my final story, and I'm sticking to it. My name is Greg Halverson. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll put this up on my pages, and we'll get this out and rocking and rolling, and we'll keep it going, and we'll keep having these chats and talking and celebrating America and fighting back against the mob, cancel culture mentality, and I'll just keep walking down memory lane with the whatever comes to mind. Go on YouTube, watch those good movies, man. There's also another great movie up there, free. It's a mad world. It's the greatest comedy movie ever. It's a mad world. If you've never heard of it, check it out. YouTube movies. And dude, I'm not getting paid for this, but God bless you guys. God bless America. Have a great week, and we'll be back and give you another one of these soon. We'll see you later. Bye.